Hey everyone, welcome back to BDG Reviews. What I got today is a review of Bloody Bitch Shorts compilation. This is from the Blood in the Snow film festival up here in Canada. This is a bunch of, how many are on this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of 7 short films. Most of them around 20 minutes, a couple around 10. And it's just, they're short Canadian horror films. And they're honestly pretty good. Like with any compilation type movie, you're gonna have stronger entries and you're gonna have weaker entries. So I'll just kind of go through them one by one. The first one was Dead of Night. Now, Dead of Night is essentially it's a poor man's escape from New York. It follows pretty much the exact same plot. You get this criminal guy gets sent into this lawless zone to get I think it's a chip and kill the main guy. Honestly, for considering what they had to work with, I'm assuming for a budget, this was like shooting for the moon, and for the most part, they kind of hit it because it works. It's not perfect. It's there's, how can I put this? Some of the fight scenes, there's quite a few fight scenes in it, but they seem a bit lackluster. Now it could just be purely due to the fact that this is a short film, this is a low budget indie type thing. I would have just liked to have seen a bit more, I don't know, action in those particular scenes. But other than that, it was pretty decent. You had a kind of a fun characters and some decent effects and everything. It was all in all not that bad. It was pretty good. The next movie, well, next short I should say, is Greater Than. And Greater Than is interesting. That one, this guy brings this woman to this shop, and this guy in the shop makes fake IDs and everything. So she's it's like an immigration type thing, she wants to come to live wherever they're living. It doesn't really say if it's America or Canada or whatever. And he eventually does it, and then they end up in a bit of a relationship. But then, for some crazy reason, she sends him her arm after they have a fight. She cuts off her own arm and sends it to him. And it just gets weirder after that. This is really solid. This has really good effects. They have this decaying arm. And throughout the movie, well, the 20-minute short or whatever, it keeps getting more and more rotted as it goes. And it's actually quite good. All in all, that's a really solid little movie. That's one you could easily push up into a feature. Next up is Lively. Lively was a really good movie. It follows this woman. She's a babysitter. She gets called in kind of at the last minute to look after this kid. It's your basic thing, she's there looking after the kid. Then turns out there's a killer. This killer guy's escaped from a mental institution or whatever, and he, shows up and stuff. I'll leave it kind of at that for the plot. There's a little bit of a twist at the end, which is a really cool twist, actually. And this has to be one of the ones I find that was the most professional, if you will. There was the acting was good, the effects were good, the tension that's built up is pretty good. All in all, this is another one that could easily be pushed up into a feature, and it would be just kind of really awesome. So yeah, that's one of the highlights on this particular release. Next one is One More for the Road. This is interesting. You got this guy and this woman. They're heading out to, I think it's a marriage retreat or something. But, not everything is as it appears, And it's quite brutal, honestly. I mean, I'll just say this. There is an attack with crowbar that honestly makes you wince a little bit when you see it. You're like, ooh. But all in all, another really, really solid film. Next movie is, I think it's pronounced Siren, but it's spelled Seiren, Seiren. And basic plot of this is models at like this beach and they're taking photos and she gets bit by something. Then she sort of starts changing into a creature. And that is like body horror at its finest. That's like not Lovecraftian, like Cronenbergian level body horror. It's really good. That is one, again, could easily be a feature. And the effects are great, the acting's great, the soundtrack's great, the shots are great. Everything is great about Siren. It's an awesome, awesome short. Next up is Tasha and Friends. This one's interesting. Tasha is the host of a kids show. It's Tasha and a bunch of puppets. Puppets come alive and are evil and are gonna kill her. I'll just leave it at that. It's awesome. Watch it. It works. It's just great. And last up is Uncommon Enemies. That one takes place in Nazi-occupied France, which is quickly crossed off the list, and it then says vampire-occupied France. So you got like a Nazi guy and an American guy, and there's vampires. It's actually pretty funny. I actually like that one. That's, again, you could push that up into a feature. As to whether you should or not, that could be argued. It works better as a short, but it's a pretty solid. It's more, it falls more on the comedy than it does the horror, really, but it's still pretty good. So all in all, for this is released through Black Fawn Distribution. I've said before, they are a company to watch, and I honestly believe that because I haven't been disappointed by anything they've released. And this is no exception. This is a complete 9 out of 10. Like I said, you have your weaker stories, you have your stronger stories, but all in all, as a whole, it's really solid. And I like the way they did this also. Each title is separate. So when you finish Dead of Night, it goes back to the main menu, and then you go down to greater than, then lively. It's like every section gets its own little, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It gets its own little slice of the pie, if you will. It's not like one runs right into the other or anything. And I like that. It separates them, it just makes it nice. So yeah, Blood in the Snow presents Bloody Bits Shorts Compilation, Volume 1. 9 out of 10. Really solid. And also, this is an hour and 27 minutes, so 127 minutes. What am I talking about? An hour. It's like over 2 hours. Really solid, good stuff. Buy this if you get the chance. It's awesome. They also have a Volume 2 out. I'll be reviewing that in the next couple of days. But yeah, that's it for now. See you next time.